Carlos Ramirez, owner of NVS Audio in Roselle, New Jersey and Daytona, Florida. We just finished wrapping up the biggest wiring rescue we've had for 2026 in Daytona, Florida. Client bought the bike with the audio already on the bike, so he didn't get this done. It came with the bike. After riding the bike for a while and playing music for a while, he started having stupid issues, and he started looking into it and realized that it didn't look right. So he reached out to us, scheduled an appointment. We had to completely pull every piece of wire on the bike, rewire the entire bike. It was just a lot of stuff done that didn't make sense. He loved the way the bike sounded, wanted a little more bass, but he just wanted the system to be reliable. So that's what we did for him. Didn't want us to change the configuration, even though we disagreed with some of the way this stuff was done on the bike. He wanted the layout to stay the same. He let us upgrade the bass amps because the bike is running three 2400.4 Sound Digital Evo X's. So he allowed us to swap one out and upgrade to the 3000.1 to push the 4 8-inch subwoofers that were in the saddlebags. Saddlebags were sealed and ported with 8s. He had two down-firing 10-inch mid-range in the tour pack. Originally it was a 2400 running the 4 8s. Now we have a 3000 running the 4 8s in sealed saddlebags. The tour pack has down-firing PRV 10s that are running off 2 channels bridged off the other 2400. Then the first 2 channels of that 2400 are running the 8s and tweeters on the lids. The third 2400 is in the fairing, and that is running the 6-inch coax PRVs in the uppers and the 8-inch PRV and tweeters in the lowers. So he already had a Limitless V3 battery, so pulled everything out, removed all the LED setup on the bike was terrible. So we pulled all the wiring, started fresh, ran 0 gauge from the battery to the NVS audio distribution block. Then from there we split off 4 ways, 1 to each amplifier, and then we reserved the 4th fuse for the air ride setup. We ran new relays for the air ride, ran thicker cable. They had it grounded to the body, we grounded to the frame. Got everything rewired, and most importantly, we added a DSP. The bike was running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 speakers, 6 tweeters, and no DSP. So we added a DSP, all NVS audio oxygen-free copper wires, kept his SoundStream head unit. The hardest part is, since the amplifiers were in the saddlebags, we had to build quick disconnects for each side. So we use NVS Audio XT60 harnesses, XT90 harnesses, and then we use the Cicada quick disconnect so he can remove power, ground, and remote from the amplifiers when he removed the saddlebag. All the quick disconnects were hidden behind the side covers, along with the fuse distribution block. Made it as neat as we could, made it safe and reliable, made sure that everything was fused. And check it out. This is what we had up to go up against. But client picked up today. He's super happy with the way it looks and sounds. He's got something safe and reliable, and he's going to be bringing us his old school neck so we can do audio on that. Check out the build. Okay, so this looks like it's going to be the biggest wiring rescue of 2026. Client has all good equipment on the bike, but it's obviously wired terribly and causing issues. So the bike has 3 Sound Digital 2400s. If you add up the fusing on the bike, we have a 100, a 30, and a 100. Issue with this is that's only 230 amps of fusing. This bike requires 420 amps of fusing. Information taken right from the Sound Digital website for the 2404 is 140 amp fuse for each amplifier. Even if they had used 140 amp fuse, this is aluminum 8 gauge wire. The amplifier requires 4 gauge oxygen free copper wire. Then On top of using the wrong type of fuse holder and fuse and wire, they spliced it. And that's on every single connection. So there's an amp in each saddlebag. No quick disconnect, so this is the way the wires are after you remove the saddlebag. Oh, there is sort of kind of a quick disconnect. Both wires are red, so it makes it nice and confusing. That wire's coming really close to dragging on the belt. We have quite a few splices. Splice, 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 splice. Splice, splice, splice. Wrong size butt connector, so the wire's exposed on both sides. Gas tank bolts are smashing that RCA. We're gonna have to strip it down. And this is the way they fuse the power wires together instead of using the distribution block. Poor crimp for the wire just shot out of there. Wonder what's going on under here. This side's even worse. That's all right, we'll get her cleaned up and fixed up. I did a little better in the fairing, but we have some more splices here. T-tap connectors there. Some dollar store RCAs. Of course, the amp's not bolted in. But we're gonna make it right. Only thing worse than a bad ground is a worse ground tapped into and twisted around the bad ground. So this bike is the gift that keeps on giving. So this woofer wasn't playing when I tested the wires up here. So now, since I was hooking the woofers up in series, if I have one bad woofer, the second woofer won't play since they're hooked up in series. So I was like, all right, let me pop the woofer out, see what the part number is, order another woofer. I put the tester on it. And it plays, but it wasn't playing a second ago when I tested it at the top. So I said, all right, let me check the connections. So it's a good thing I pulled it out, because look at that. We start at white black, jump to white black. Then we go, then we have some crimp caps, and you change the brown. Then we have some more crimp caps. Then when you pull on this wire, hey, look at that. That's why it wasn't playing. More work to do. It's a good thing I pulled this woofer out to check. That wire's holding on by strand. That's a lot better. We got the woofer wired in series. It just keeps getting better. I don't think there's a straight run of any single piece of wire on this bike. Holy crap. But we're gonna make it right. So as I'm dealing with this wiring nightmare, I'm trying to figure out where these extra wires are coming from, because we have speakers in the lowers, the uppers, but why are these channels shared if it's 4 speakers and a 4-channel amp? All right, so I start doing some investigating and looking, and look what I find. A horn driver with no horn screwed into it Velcroed to the top of the vent. Same thing on that side. And while they were cutting stuff to try and make stuff fit in here, every piece of metal shaving that they were cutting landed on the tweeter. You can't make this stuff up. Holy cow. So as they cut the metal to allow the 2400 to fit through here, and boy, I don't know what kind of tool they use to make those jagged cuts. I guess they use a tweeter to collect all the metal shavings. Wow. Okay, and some more math that's not mathing. So the output of the 2400, one channel, goes there, 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 and the wire going to the tweeter, which needs like 50 watts, is thicker than the wire going to the speaker pod, which needs like 150 watts. So we have some 20 gauge wire here with some non-waterproof crimp caps, with some 14 gauge wire here going to the tweeter, but the 20 gauge wire goes to the woofer. Doesn't really make sense, but okay. We're gonna make it right. So they cut that opening just enough to scrape the hell out of the amplifier. So now we're gonna have to cut it more and then put some gasket around it so it doesn't come in contact with the amp, because the amplifier won't go straight since the cut's not straight. So we have to put the amplifier in an angle and sort of wedge it in there. So I'm gonna straighten out that line and cut that side, hit it with a little paint so it doesn't rust, and allow the amplifier to go straight in. Okay, I straightened out the cuts on the opening, put gasket tape over the jagged edges. So now the amp's gonna go in straight without rubbing on the sides. And there we go. So see how the amp is in there nice and straight? It's not an angle anymore, and it's not scraping up the sides. Amp's in there nice and pretty, new wiring. Okay, so now we have everything Tech Flex, color coded. This is for the woofers, this is for the lid speaker, this is for the RCA, this is power and ground for the amplifier, and here's our remote. 100% serviceable, that's the bag side. Here's the bike side. Other side of the quick disconnect behind the side cover. Okay, so we tightened down the air ride bracket. These two bottom nuts were missing. We rewired the compressor. There's new wiring for the compressor. There's the relay for the compressor. 4-way distribution block with 0 gauge coming from the lithium battery. Fuse 1, amplifier in the fairing. Fuse 2, amplifier in this saddlebag. Fuse 3, amplifier in that saddlebag. Fuse 4 is for the air ride. XT90 connector for the 8-inch subwoofers. XT60 connectors for the 8s in the lid. 4-way Molex plug that plugs into a custom foil we made for the other side that feeds the RCAs into the saddlebag. XT60 quick disconnect for the saddlebag. Power and ground quick disconnect for the saddlebag. We have the same one on the other side. Custom 4-pin Molex for the RCAs. XT90s for the 8s. XT60s for the lid speaker. Fairing wiring is all cleaned up. New speaker pod connectors. HKI Mini DSP bolted in place. NVS Audio RCAs in and out of the DSP. And the 2400 tucked underneath the radio. Here's the module. Data link module for the radio. All cleaned up. Here's the power and ground quick disconnect for the saddlebag. Comes apart that easily. Now that's super clean. Factory ground, our power, factory power. Then everything moved over to the frame for the ground right there. And power.
I've been drove high, twisted, low, hustling non-stop on the block, getting dough. All day, all day, all day, all day, all day, all day, all day. And I'm a street prophet, bucking, thugging, oh, don't wipe me down from my head to my toe. All day, 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 in the hood, they do not come from Miami. Dick and the Nina, I just turned the Glock to a trainer. Dangerous and rich, you catch me in the rain for the vest. Keep pillow talking to them hoes and they gon' lend you the rest. My teeth got me looking professional, but that's a bait. No, we call the chopper a Adonis, it's a baby Drake. They know I got whoop de woof, and I moved out of state. That shit still a hundred. Baby, no more stalling.